She told me to find somewhere to die. What I did next changed everything. My daughter looked me in the eyes and said, "Mum, you need to find somewhere else to die." I was 67 years old. My husband had been dead for 3 weeks, and I was standing in the home I'd lived in for 40 years, being told to leave. So I packed my bags, but I didn't leave empty-handed. My name is Margaret. For 43 years, I thought I had the perfect marriage. Robert was a successful businessman. We raised 2 children in a beautiful home in Connecticut. I volunteered at the library, hosted dinner parties, and never questioned our finances. Robert handled everything: the investments, the properties, the paperwork. I signed where he told me to sign. That's just how it was done in our generation. I trusted him completely. And then he had a heart attack at his desk, gone at 68 just like that. At the funeral, my daughter Jennifer was attentive, almost too attentive. She kept asking about Dad's affairs, about what I needed, where the important documents were. I thought she was worried about me. I was so stupid. The day after we buried Robert, Jennifer arrived at my house with her husband, Derek, and a lawyer. The lawyer was young, expensive suit. He didn't make eye contact with me. "Mrs. Morrison," he said, "I need to inform you that your husband made some changes to his will 6 months ago." 6 months, when Robert was already having chest pains, when he knew something was wrong. The house? Left to Jennifer. The investment accounts? Jennifer. The vacation property in Maine? Jennifer. His life insurance policy? Jennifer. I got a $2,000 monthly stipend from my own husband's estate, like an allowance. I looked at my daughter. She wouldn't look at me. "There must be a mistake," I said. That's when Derek spoke up. Derek leaned back in his chair and smiled. Actually smiled. "No mistake, Margaret. Robert knew you'd need support in your declining years. That's why Jennifer will be managing everything. To protect you." Protect me? From what? From having control over my own life? I looked at Jennifer again. "Honey, I don't understand." "Why would your father—" "Mom," she cut me off. Her voice was cold. "Dad knew you couldn't handle this kind of money. You've never worked. You don't understand investments. This is better for everyone." "Better for everyone," I repeated. "Yes. Now, Derek and I will be moving into the house in 3 weeks. We've already spoken to a real estate agent about the main property. You'll need to start packing." I want you to understand something. I didn't fight back. Not at first. I was in shock. I was grieving. And part of me believed her. Maybe I was too old. Maybe I didn't understand. Maybe Robert really had been protecting me. So I packed. Jennifer found me a room at the Sunset Motel, $49 a night, paid weekly. It smelled like cigarettes and had a shower that barely worked. "Just temporary," she said, "until we figure out a more permanent solution." A permanent solution. Like a nursing home. Or assisted living. Somewhere they could forget about me. That first night in that motel room, I sat on the edge of the bed and cried for 3 hours. And then I got angry. When I was packing, I'd taken something. Just one thing. A file box from Robert's office. I told myself I was looking for photos, memories, something to hold on to. But what I found changed everything. Bank statements. Going back 5 years. Showing monthly transfers of $15,000 to an account I didn't recognize. Property deeds. For 3 rental properties I'd never heard of. All in Jennifer's name. And emails. Dozens of emails between Robert, Jennifer, and Derek. Mum's getting suspicious about the renovations. Tell her it's a business investment. She won't ask questions. When are you changing the will? We need this locked down. They'd been planning this for years. While I was making Robert's favorite meals, they were stealing my future. While I was caring for him through his health problems, they were transferring assets. While I was grieving my husband, they were celebrating their inheritance. Here's what people don't tell you about being betrayed by your family. It clarifies things. Suddenly, every doubt I'd ever had made sense. Every weird conversation. Every time Jennifer had been too busy to visit unless Robert was home. She never loved me. She loved what I represented. Access to money. I spent 3 days in that motel room researching elder financial abuse, undue influence, estate fraud. And then I made a phone call. Remember those emails? The ones showing the financial transfers? Some of them mentioned Derek's business connections, offshore accounts, tax optimization strategies. I'm not a lawyer, but I know what money laundering looks like when I see it. I called the FBI's Financial Crimes Division. I expected to be dismissed. Some old lady making accusations about her family. Instead, the agent said, "Mrs. Morrison, we've actually been investigating your son-in-law for 8 months. 8 months. They'd been watching Derek for financial fraud involving his real estate company. But they needed more evidence. Evidence that I could provide. The FBI gave me a simple recording device, small enough to hide in my purse. All I had to do was have coffee with my daughter and ask the right questions. I called Jennifer, told her I wanted to apologize, that I'd been difficult, and I understood now that they were just trying to help. She agreed to meet me. Of course she did. She thought she'd won. "Jennifer, honey, I've been confused about something. Those property transfers Dad made, the ones to your name, were those part of Derek's business?" She smiled, actually smiled. "Mom, don't worry about it. Derek knows how to move money around. It's all legal. Mostly legal." Mostly legal. She kept talking, about the rental income, about the offshore accounts, about how they'd convinced Robert to change his will by telling him I had early dementia. She said all of it, with a smile on her face. 2 weeks later, FBI agents arrived at my old house, the house Jennifer was living in. They arrested Derek on 14 counts of financial fraud, money laundering, and tax evasion. Jennifer called me, screaming, crying, begging me to help. "Mom, please, you have to tell them it's a mistake. Derek's going to prison. They're freezing all our accounts, please." I hung up. With Derek facing federal charges, my lawyer had leverage. We contested the will, proved undue influence, showed that Robert had been manipulated when he was sick and frightened. The court agreed. The will was invalidated. Everything reverted to me as the surviving spouse. The house, the investments, the rental properties, all of it. Jennifer lost everything she'd schemed for. But here's the thing. I didn't want revenge. Not really. I wanted purpose. I used Robert's money, my money, to start the Morrison Foundation for Elder Protection. We provide free legal services to seniors being financially abused by their families. In 6 months, we've helped 847 seniors, recovered over $15 million in stolen assets, and we're just getting started. Derek? He's in federal prison, 7 years. Jennifer? She's working retail, living in a studio apartment. I hear she's engaged again, some guy with money. She sends me letters sometimes, apologies, explanations, requests for help. I don't respond. My daughter told me to find somewhere else to die. Instead, I found somewhere to live. If you're over 60 and something feels wrong with your finances, trust that feeling. You're not crazy, you're not confused, and you're not alone. The Morrison Foundation has a 24-hour helpline. No judgment, no cost, just help. Because every senior deserves to die with dignity. Not in a $49 motel room.